university in Liverpool, what they were doing. They were collecting the information about the students and profiling the students and setting up their profiles and all the data related to their scores, related to their activities, and related to their basically uh, um, all the personal information which is relevant to the education. Based upon that, they were able to gather and identify the interest of a student. They did some research to identify the interest of a student, in which sector he would be more interested, or which technology he would be more interested, or in which domain he would be more interested, based upon that information. So there was some certain research going on in that particular area also in education sector. Plus, in lots of industries, still we are using Excel everywhere. So Excel is commonly used application in everywhere, and it is very good tool for data analytics. So how does it work? Basically, what we do is we collect a lot of information in Excel, and also we can store that information in open source databases like MySQL, and do a lot of analytics on it. Identify the trend, identify the pattern, identifying the missing information, and automatically basically automate the whole Excel into the data warehouse or database, where we can actually store the information, and based upon that information we can use or make certain decisions and predict a lot of patterns um, through data analytics. In banking and finance domain, we can do a lot of stuff in data science, where we can detect the fraud, the identify who should get the loan, or whose application can be uh, basically processed based upon their credit history. Social and crime is basically where we identify a criminal based upon their facial expression and face recognition application. So there's a lot of different sectors where data science is used in different ways, from manufacturing, supply chain, retail. We have done some certain work in retail. We have captured the data from different retail sources to actually predict the price of a particular grocery item. That's what we have done. We have captured information from the big basket. We have captured information from Ondo, their website, through web scraping. We have captured information through Grofers, through web scraping, and identify the products and products. For last 1 year, we have been doing it to identify the pattern in a product and their price, how much the Nestle product goes in price, or how much the cheese or grains changes, the price of grains changes based upon the prices from these online stores. So these are different applications, and there's a huge amount of applications and requirement in data science. Every sector, from the mechanical, manufacturing, telecommunications, supply chain, everywhere this is used. Data is used, and it is being utilized. So there is a huge demand of data science in each and every sector. That is why the data science is a buzzword at the moment, because it requires the analytics skills. It is not necessary for a particular department or particular, particularly for software engineers or IT engineers. It is for everyone. Everyone needs to understand the data. If you understand the need of a data and how it is utilized, that is what data science is. So in our organization, and we have trained some of the people in organization who are from the hospitality industries, who are from the finance industries. They are learning data science and data analytics. Data analytics is basically, you need to have knowledge uh, of a data and how you understand the data. That is most important, rather than technology. Technology is just a means, like a phone that you are using to make a call. So same thing, technology here, to Python or any other tool or data visualization tools are just the tools to analyze the data. So main purpose of the data science is to understand the data. Some other real life examples are disease protection. In UK, there was a requirement. We did it for a Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading in UK. The requirement was basically they were have a list of medical procedures for a chemo patient or a cancer patient, and we were supposed to predict the death of a patient based upon that information. that when the cells will get deteriorated, when cell will die. So we were able to do with 97% accuracy. The other example is very simple example in mental health area, that lots of patients fall from the bed. That is very you might find it very idiotic or some, that why would a person would say do that. But there are a lot of cases when we collected the data that a lot of patients, old patients, mental health patients, they actually uh, got lots of injuries and causes lot of issues because they fall from the bed because of medical condition, because of the mental health conditions. So we were able to predict whether patient will fall from the bed or not. That was one of our project. The other project was how if the patient would be able to, so they make an appointment and they cancel an appointment. So we can predict what are the probability of a patient based upon his age, medical history, and other history that he would actually attend the appointment. So this is basic cases. There are lots and lots of use cases where data science is being used in healthcare to have a personalized medicine, to identify whether patient has an asthma based upon his X-ray report directly, to communicate with the patient. These technologies will be used now very extensively eventually because of this corona disease. We are having a huge amount of work at the moment in the frontline staff on data science itself, on business intelligence itself, in this particular field. Another example, which I explained earlier, is the recommendation system. The recommendation systems can be anything which recommend a user to purchase a product. The product can be a movie, a particular genre of a movie that you want to watch, a particular item that you want to purchase. I've seen these days that when I'm speaking on the phone and I'm talking to um, a particular idea, and suddenly I can see the ad flowing on is showing up on my screen on my computer laptop just when I'm speaking. I believe that is based upon AI. The Android platform is capturing the information, what we are speaking, what we are doing, what we are browsing. Based upon that, they are showing the ads associated with it. You will see lots of ads associated with what you're browsing. That is a collaborative filtering, content-based filtering. What content-based filtering is basically something which you as a particular user are browsing, and collaborating filtering is when similar users are browsing certain products and certain services or certain content. Say for example, in Netflix, you see these days there are top 10 films in India. So these are collaborative filtering. Fraud and risk detection is one of the key component that companies are spending a lot of money on AI to identify the fraud, to identify any risk associated with the transaction based upon their IP address, based upon um, um, the information about a particular set of users. All these informations that is captured and stored in one place, and based upon that we actually detect there is any issues or anomaly in a data. If we are able to identify these anomalies and identify that that is a possibility of a fraud, it eventually detects that information and tell it to the user and user that there is a fraud going on in your account. This is all done through AI and machine learning and data science. It requires lots and lots of information coming through different sources, and that's what data science does. Logistics, which is retail or a warehouse. So we have a data coming through. We have a data coming through from different sources, and we have a data flowing and moving. The goods moving, the transportation moving. All this are now being automated and done through the use of AI. And in the future, you would be able to identify a product, or virtually shop a product that can be done through the data science. That is AI or machine learning, to understand the requirement of an end user, to understand the process of an end user, to understand if the goods are timely delivered to the end users, and right good is delivered to the end user without a human interaction. Airline route planning is another example that you would be able to identify the best possible route for an airline, the best possible um, 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 route for traveling, for planning your travel to different countries. What would be the best possible and the cheapest way to travel? So basically, we have in our company have delivered lots of AI tools and technologies in healthcare sectors and um, lots of products. In order to do that, we follow a certain framework. This framework, basically, we have a different kind of information systems and different tools and technologies we have adopted and to deliver certain products. So whenever we go to an organization to deliver a particular product in data science or business intelligence, we follow a certain framework which we have developed in-house based upon industrial standards to get real-time information. We process the real-time data, we process and collect the data in a data warehouse using big data and data warehousing and techniques and technology. Then we have a lot of information flowing from our data warehouse, and we apply machine learning algorithms to deliver those information to the front-end users. We apply the data quality, that our data which is flowing into the system is pure and better, and it does not have anomalies, or it does not have invalid information. We captured a lot of information, and then we used stack of reports. These reports are actually responsible to provide information to the end users. The end user is, who is the end user? End user can be a customer or an analyst, or it can be a marketing manager, or it can be a senior manager, or a strategic manager who take decisions, or a CEO. All these reports and information are being displayed to the user based upon a particular framework. I'll give you an example here. I'll show you something what we have done for a Highway England project, which is quite interesting. I'll show you a video right now. Okay, here's a video where you can see this is done by students from our organization. You can see the cars moving. Can you see the video?
No, sir. No, sir.
You can't see the video?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me share it again. What about now?
Yes, sir. Now
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you see this line. This is an imaginary line which we have created, and based upon that, we can identify how many vehicles and what kind of vehicles are moving. Okay, so basically it will tell us that these number of cars have traveled, and this is all done in Python. These many cars have traveled. So it keeps on increasing the number of the count of the cars being traveled and the size of the car. It can identify whether a truck has been traveled, has crossed the line, or a car has crossed the line. So this is all done in Python, and this is done by students from our organization. And we have implemented this project in Highway England in UK. I'll give you another example of the project. Footfall. This is very interesting example because this is being used in, this will be the future, and this will be used to identify a pattern where a user can travel in a particular retail shop. How would we use? We can track our user. We can track how many people have actually moved from one place to another, like this. So you can see the people moving from one place to another, and in which department we can. So we have been doing some research on this to track the people and to track the movement of the people, that which particular user and what is the footfall in a particular retail shop. What kind of user would go in a particular retail shop? How many users go in a particular retail shop, and at what time they will travel? That way we can identify the frequency, we can identify the pattern of a user at what time, and we can also identify which section they are going. Say if they are going most of the users are going in the technological section, or if they are going in the um, um, grocery section, or if you're going in the fashion section. That's one example. Other example is facial expression. You see that we can detect the facial expression. This is the live example. This we have done in Python. It can tell you whether person is neutral. It can tell you that whether person is sad. These information, based upon this information, one can tell that what is the expression of a particular user. We can utilize this information in ad. So when one person is watching something in a particular sporting event or any events, and we can identify how many times he has different expressions. These expressions can tell us that their interest. So this it is actually detecting the information based upon the information based upon the facial expression. I'll get back to the slide. Okay, so basically, how does all this work in data science? Who does this stuff? So this is a framework given by IBM. That is the path that is given by the IBM to implement a the data science solution or predictive analysis solution. Different data scientists are involved. The most important thing you can see so the most important, can you see my arrow? I was trying to use a pointer, but I can't. Is there a pointer on this one? Okay. Can you see the arrows moving? I'm not
No,
able
sir.
to.
No.
Let me check the.
So please share the screen.
Oh, the screen is gone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so basically, the data science framework provides the information that how we need to implement the data science in a particular way. So you have a business analyst who was throughout the project, who is responsible to understand the data throughout the project. Then we have a programmer who actually moves the data from one place to another, identifies the data quality. Then we have a programmer who applies the predictive analysis and semantics, and the statistician who performs the descriptive and diagnostic analysis. So basically, the process is first collect the data, apply the data quality, then apply the descriptive analysis, which is actually identifying or the distribution of a data. Then we apply the diagnostic analysis, which is actually identifying the factors and causes that influence the data. Finally, we apply the predictive analysis to forecast and identify the probability of a data, forecasting and predicting the future. Then also we apply the semantic analysis to understand the social and context of a data or meaning of a data, that what actually the data actually suggests, what is the information that it is providing and what it is predicting. So this is basically a data science profile overview and data science process where uh, different levels of programmers, statisticians, developers, business analysts are involved. enterprise data architecture is quite simple. How the data is stored in an enterprise. Data is stored basically in enterprise is based upon a single repository or a centralized repository where all the information are stored. This is called data warehouse, or if it is a big or huge data or unstructured data, then it is called a big data. So we dump all the data in a centralized repository, whether it is a data warehouse, which is a relational database, or a big data, which is a Hadoop-based database where we dump unstructured and structured data. Once we got the data, we apply the machine learning algorithms, we apply statistical information and statistical processes, and process and churn the data to predict the data. And finally, we have dashboards, which is based upon reporting tools such as Tableau or a Power BI or a Cognos, any other reporting tool. These reporting tools actually present the data in a visually appealing way so that user can understand the data in a proper manner. So this is basically the enterprise-wide data architecture. So the most important part is centralized repository where we can store the data and then finally process the data through machine learning algorithms. These days, we are talking about, a lot of people are talking about the big data. And what is big data? So big data is nothing but the collection of huge amount of data from different sources. Internet of Things is in quite demand these days. What is Internet of Things? Internet of Things is something like you have all the devices connected through your internet, and these devices can talk to each other. The refrigerator can talk to phone can talk to light through an application. You can ask Alexa to switch off the light or switch on the light, switch on in your home. In some part, we can connect the microwave or any refrigerator or heating devices. In some of the countries in UK, when we are traveling in a car, we can ask that to turn on the heating as soon as we reach home because it gets cold and it saves energy. So these kinds of Internet of Things, all these kind of things are being developed, and it is part of a data science and big data platform. A centralized location where we can apply the store the data and then apply the predictive analysis. Perform the in an enterprise, we perform the profitability analysis, strategic analysis, financial analysis, develop scorecard, dashboards, reporting, and analysis. So the job market. The job market is huge in data science. You'll see a lot of jobs. And with the COVID and post-COVID era, there is a lot of jobs in data science because people will be working on artificial intelligence product a lot. I've seen a spike in jobs, actually spike in jobs in UK in this field in healthcare sector since last couple of months. There's a lot of job in 24, like in UK, there's a lot of job opportunity in India also. Huge amount of people will be working on the AI and data science tools. There is a lot of information flowing up. There is a lot of real work is going on in the data science field. So it's a very good career prospect, but also it doesn't need to be a software engineer. It needs to be, you need to have a skill set of an aptitude who can actually analyze the data. You need an analytical aptitude to work on this rather than a technological aptitude. It requires more and more analytical ability of a person rather than a technological ability. Because if you need to write an algorithm, you don't need to write the whole process or write a code. Say, for example, if I need to predict the marks of a student for a future, I can write a linear regression model. And the linear regression model sounds complicated, but it is just one single line of code which says LM and pass the variables that your model depend upon. So it is not that, the most important is you need to understand the data, what you need to gather the data, capture the data for, and what you need to predict. So the fundamental skills required for the data science is statistics, mathematics. Then you need to have an aptitude. Then you have a programming skills and machine learning and advanced machine learning technologies. Data visualization skills is used for visualizing the data. Then we have a big data, which is Hadoop, Yarn, where we store the data, which is required to capture the data from different sources and store it in a big data platform. So basically, you need to understand that the data science is not only the technology, but also the mathematics, statistics, aptitude, understanding a problem, understanding the domain. So what does a data scientist do in a day-to-day activity? Basically, they capture the raw information and then process and analyze that information to predict and provide the patterns in the data in a meaningful way. So they work. So whenever if we get a problem, that what will happen in the future. So first you need to understand what information that will affect the future, what variables that affect the future. That's what data scientists are for. They identify the variables that affect the future. They understand the past data, the distribution of a data, and then process and analyze the data and give meaningful information. It's like an experiment. You experiment on a particular problem and observe that information, that what happens, what will happen. Note down those observations, and based upon those observations, you will predict what will happen in the future or identify a pattern. That's all data scientist does. So the data analysis, data visualization, and machine learning are the most important part of the data scientist. Main function is the data analysis. If you are good in data analysis, then you need to have a very creative mind to produce your reports that would be done through the data visualization. And then you need to understand the machine learning algorithm, which algorithms can be used for a particular process or particular pattern to identify a particular pattern. So these three are the subsets of a data science. Job roles. You have a different job roles in data science. If you search in a job portal, you will see lots and lots of different kinds of job roles. So you will see a data scientist, a data analyst. You can see a data architect that also involved in the data science job role. Data engineer is also involved. Every statistician, business analyst, data analytics manager, project manager in data science. So there is a lot of different roles coming up around the data science. The most important factor is you need to understand the data, you need to understand your domain, you need to have an understanding of a machine learning algorithm, how the data is organized, how the data is modeled. So this is the average salary in UK, which is around 50,000 per year in pound in UK. Okay, what we do here in our company, the SAR Consultancy, we have started Academy of Data Science, which is a training venture. We train the people based upon the skill sets required in the field. Because we are a development company, we were having a lot of requirement in UK. So we started a training program which caters the need of a industrial requirement. So we train people in actually analyzing that. We actually not train, but we actually educate the people to understand the data and utilize the tools such as big data, Python, R, Tableau, and Power BI, and business intelligence. All these tools, we actually provide the information, we provide the training, we provide the guidance, and we provide the way the industry work, the pattern, the way the industry work, how to actually do the work. It is not like writing the code in Python will make you a data scientist. It is actually solving a problem will make you a data scientist. Solving a problem to predict the future will make you a data scientist. To solve a problem, we need to gather the data. We need a certain framework that step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 to perform certain operation to actually completely deliver the product or solve a problem. That's what we do in Academy of Data Science. We have teams in UK, Australia, America, New Zealand, and India who are working in different sectors and who are delivering these products and services. We also provide a micro degree program, which has a 6 months program, which provides the end-to-end training and guidance along with the internship, plus live projects. Live projects are very important. Why? Because the live projects are responsible for delivering certain product or services or solving certain problem. So if we get a lot of organizations like Udemy or Coursera have a sample projects which have a clean data. The problem is the clean data is very clean and you will be able to solve the problem immediately because data is pure. The actual challenge is when data is raw, where you get the actual data, the real world data. That's what we come into picture. We have lots and lots of real projects that we work on. We give the students actual real data to play with. The real data will provide the challenges in real life scenario. Like for example, we have worked in the retail store where we have a raw data coming up from the different websites. These raw data will actually provide the challenges that how to deal with this real world data. If a person can deal with the real challenges and real data, then only he would become a good data scientist. We provide them experience, we provide them guidance, and we educate them. Not only train them, but educate them to take decisions, how to approach a problem. It is not writing a code that you would be able to write a code and you will become a data scientist. No, that is the last part and the least part. The important part is to analyze the problem, understand the problems, identify the variables that affect the problem and resolve those issues. You can go through if anyone is interested in the micro degree program or information about that, we can go to the website, which is www.academyofdatascience.com.
Cecil sir.
The way
Sorry sir. Sorry. Cecil sir.
हाँ sir.
We have only 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes.
हाँ.
Yeah. And so we can rejoin if more if you have lots of slides remains. So we can join again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Hello. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. I am Jay Sharma from BTech CS third year student. Sir,
Hi, Jay.
I want to ask that I have some skills of data analytics. Like
Okay.
I know Python and I know data visualization tool like Tableau and Power BI.
Okay.
So can I do the internship in data analytics?
Definitely, you can do internship in data analytics. We are looking for people who can do internship in data analytics, and that I have advertised also. You can
Yes.
go to our website and apply for it. We can have a question answer after this one. If
Sure. Yes, we will ask later, है ना? Let him complete the session, then we will have a questionnaire session.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, please continue.
okay, so basically the way we work is the way actually any organization needs to work is to understand the real requirement and educate the people, educate the students so that they can actually deliver. We have a lot of people, a lot of brain in India where we can utilize this capability of data science in a lot of places. We have been working in for UNICEF, where we are identifying certain issues for childcare. We have been working in for retail industries, where we are identifying the problem areas related to the retail and pricing issues. We have been also working in the forest department, where we actually are trying to gather more information about the forest and different issues in the forest to identify the patterns related to that, the theft of wood in the forest. In agriculture, we have been trying to use the data science in predicting the crop, what kind of crop needs to be grown. So there's a lot of places where actually we as a team in SAR consultancy and students in Academy of Data Science, they are working on different kinds of project and real work, which will actually provide the value to the country and to the organization. So that is most important part, that we actually need to do a real work and actual work in data science. And if you are able to complete those work and do those kind of stuff in data science, you can go to any organization, you can work for any organization and eventually deliver the stuff. Because writing code in Python is not sufficient, writing code in R is not sufficient, learning how to use big data is not sufficient. Sufficient is solving a problem. You can solve a problem once and only if you have a practical exposure. Once you see the problem and then try to solve it step by step. So we train and educate people to deliver and solve the problem in a particularly defined manner using a framework, using our framework. So if a student goes into an organization to solve a problem, they start using those frameworks and guidelines to start one. Okay, we'll do the descriptive analysis of data. Step 2, we will do a qualitative analysis of data. Step 3, we now apply the Python code to predict the data. Step 4, we now identify the variables that are impacting the data. So these are the steps which we teach each and every steps, and how to analyze the data. We train them to analyze the data, that you should follow these steps. Like we follow certain steps to count or write.
Amit sir,
Yes.
sorry to disturb you, but session जो है वो कुछ ही seconds में end हो जाएगा. So I request all की please rejoin in few minutes.
Okay, let's rejoin in few minutes. That's fine.
Oh, sure. Continue, sir.
Okay. So not only that, the documentation part is very important. People don't know the documentation. Students from different universities, even from the UK universities, didn't know how to document. When they have come to us, they were able to document, write a blog. Blogging is important because you actually provide the information to the end user. What actually the blogging is, that you provide the interest, generate an interest in the end user. All these things, apart from the technical stuff, we teach in our program. We encourage students to do R&D work, research and development work, which is most important in the data science field. So R&D is this data science is all about R&D at this stage. A lot of organizations are spending a lot of money in R&D. So that is most important. To do R&D, you need to have an analytical ability as well as a documenting ability.